Hey, shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Hello, hello. How you doing? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Haha, all the good stuff. I appreciate you subscribing. If you haven't, subscribe to the Nubian King channel here on YouTube. Let's get it done now. Huh? Let's get it done. Go ahead and subscribe because you're going to enjoy the dialogue from the Nubian King in Israel, because the Nubian King in Israel enjoy dialoguing for you. And just as a reminder, I'm not here to be the super conversation in the world. I'm here because I love my people. And I just really, have things on my heart I like to share. That's it. Somebody to talk to. And I got convinced by a good friend of mine that I should really start sharing my thoughts. It took a year and a half for me to, make the first video. I was doing shows on other channels, guest speaker, got a lot of positive response, which was good. One time like sometimes you had a, one hit wonder. I didn't think nothing of it because I was talking with a friend of mine and just happened to be had a podcast and I, invited me to the podcast. Say, hey, why don't you get on the podcast with me and share, what you just shared with me, because that was profound. I'm so, yeah, okay, So I'm over here running the crane, as you see. And I wasn't really thinking about that. I didn't think, it was all that. But they made it like it was. So I went on to talk with them. And the people seemed to really, have a good vibe about it, what I said. So more and more. And then eventually my friend, she said, listen, you need to create your own channel and just do your thing. And that's why I'm here, just doing my thing. But I had to stop and really consider, before I even started doing the YouTube, I listened to several other videos and different tips and points. And I remember one guy, he said he and his wife was going to start a YouTube channel, travel channel, because they took a trip somewhere and they videoed it, blogged it, however, put it on YouTube, and they got a lot of hits because, people be interested in moving around the world. And when you have folks going to the place that you are interested in, then certainly you're going to look at their video because they in there on the ground, doing it the way that you were going to do it. So when he came back, they didn't take another trip, and he said he realized that wasn't going to be a good thing because they was not going to be traveling on a regular basis. They did it at one time, got a lot of views, but after that they didn't have no more content because they weren't going nowhere. So he changed and started dealing with something else. And the point that this guy was making, which it sounds good, you need to get something that you're very interested in and something that that you don't mind doing for a long time. Because once you get to going and you build up subscribers, they're coming to you to listen and to see what it is, what subject, what topic that you dealing with. If you dealing with, travel, great. So they gonna come and see. But if you're not, then you need to consider. And for me, because I'm here in Israel, This ain't the place that, you know, sometimes you want to just blurt out, because the situation between the Palestinian and the Israeli, Israel got a bad stain on it because of that. The way their relationship with the Palestinian. So sometimes to be jumping up talking about Israel, might want to keep that kind of cool, you know, because, you know, people, everybody ain't pro-Israel like America. So me over here, there's a lot of people like, what are you doing in Israel? Well, yeah, I came over with the Hebrews many, many years ago, like 1981. I did Aliyah up here. I'm a full Israeli citizen, an American citizen. And I came over with the Hebrews. I was in the community for 30 years. And finally decided to part ways. You know, I was married. We got 6 beautiful children, 3 incredible boys, and 3 wonderful daughters. They all grown now. And my 2 elders, they got their own children. So that means I'm a Saba. In Hebrew, Saba is grandfather. But the YouTube thing, I decided to just give commentary, my thoughts. Because over the years, people have said, man, you really tell stories good. Boy, you got a lot of stories, you know. My friends like, man, you tell stories good. Ooh, you know. And so I said, all right, okay, I'll do the YouTube thing, because maybe some brothers and sisters will get something out of my dialogue. And that's the point. That's the central idea of why I even come on here and talk to you all. Because my desire is that you receive something positive from my dialogue. That's it. It's just that simple. Even if it just to cause you to think about something a little different than, you know, and give you another perspective, with the end result that it elevates your life for the better. You know what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. Whether it be in health, whether it be in relationship, whether it be in business, whether it be in job, whatever. Because I can, you know, transcend all of those different realms. I haven't really opened up and spoke about that spiritual realm, the energy and all this other stuff. You know, the pyramid, my experience in the Great Pyramid of Giza. I never opened up here on YouTube about that. I'm basically been talking basic things and, you know, endeavoring to hit the points that I feel people be interested in. And if I open up and start talking about the Great Pyramid of Giza, energy, metaphysics, spirituality, you know, the power of the mind, that's a very powerful subject. That's a very powerful area. I did tell y'all once on previous videos about how I took my daughters out, 2 of my daughters, and condition them, train their minds on how to notice the very small, subtle things. I think I shared that with you all, how we was out at a mall sitting there, and I was asking them about people that had walked by a minute or 2 earlier. What kind of shoes did she have on? What color was the dress? You know, the guy that walked past us holding the attaché case, which hand was he was holding it in? And you know, as children, that was an exciting game to them. Because why? Now they sitting there next to me, and they gotta look at every single person walk by and notice every detail. Because their fathers are gonna ask them about one of these people. They don't know which one, but one of these people that walked past us, I'm going to question them as to what type of socks that man had on that was wearing the gray coat. What? So this is how my little daughters, they was young. And we was sitting there eating some ice cream, and people was walking by. And I asked my baby girl, I said, Yafit, what color dress did that lady have on that just walked by holding the green bag? She like, what? I said, you all not noticing anything out here? What are you thinking about? And so I started asking him again. I said, there was a man that just walked to our right holding the attaché case. What hand was he holding the attaché case in, the left or the right one? And they were like, oh, yeah, that was the right hand and the right hand. And so I said, yeah, you got it right. And so we would do this kind of like often. Then they start asking me what color socks did the guy have on that had the blue jeans and the brown shoes. Now, I got to stay sharp too. What that technique does, it causes you to be very pay attention to the small things, especially when you got it in public. Because like years ago here in Israel, they used to have this problem with what they call Hefes Kashu. Hefes Kashu is like a dangerous package. Like, they used to put back in you can't leave a bag or a sack or something just sitting by itself. You know what I'm saying? Because you would think maybe it's a explosive device. And if that's the case, then they was gonna come and shut the place down. It used to happen a lot back in the day. Like, Hefes Kashu. And then like if you out and it may be a bag or something, suitcase, shopping bag, something look big enough to have something in. Somebody gonna say, Shamil Teek, Shamize, Shamil Teek. They're gonna be asking, whose is this? And if can't anybody come and claim it, they're gonna call the police, the Mistura. Then the police gonna come out with the bomb squad and the robot, and they gonna go over, and they cordon the place off, get everybody back, and then they'll blow it up. That used to happen a lot around Israel. So you don't want to be in a situation where you just out, you moving around, you ain't paying attention. They used to have those suicide bombers. Man, I remember an elder that was selling incense in Tel Aviv back in the day. He was over there on the beachfront, and he had just went in this restaurant and made some sale and went to the next one, made some sale, and had walked out and going up the sidewalk. Kaboom! The place he was just in a few minutes ago. Some suicide bomber went there and blew itself up. He said that the explosion was so strong that when he went back across the street, standing over there looking, that he happened to notice on the ground was somebody's flesh, body part was just boom, out there on the street, So if you conscious, and after living in a country like Israel for so many years, you will become conscious of your surrounding. Because, Israel is like a triple security state. They got enemies all around and inside. And so yeah, things be cool with us, like I told you before. I haven't had any racial incidents where I've been called, the N-word or something like that. But I'm not saying racism don't exist. It's just I'm American and they love America. So I get a lot of, respect because of that. And then I got mad skills. Like them big rigs, I drive them big rigs too, And so I get a lot of mad respect. You come out of America, you got skills, you gonna get man. This sister came over here and she deals with IT. Man, this girl got a gig up in, I think they say she was gigging in, what's that city just north of Tel Aviv? It's not Ramat Gan. Herzliya, yeah. Herzliya, Betul. That's up there where you got all those American companies, everybody up there. from Google to AT&T. They're all there. And so this sister comes in, African-American sister, and she deals with cybersecurity, if I'm not mistaken, IT, information technology, cybersecurity. So she on that level, a lot of years experience. Do you know they gave her a job and her starting salary around 60, 70,000 shekels. I mean, it was up there because that field is highly competitive. All them big companies is fiending for skilled workers. You can come in with a dab of experience. If you can just do something, they're going to take you. And you know, you work your way up, and they're going to pay you. I don't know what the whole package is. Could have been, because like in Israel, generally the company provide transportation to the work. Whether they send a van around the city you live in to pick all the workers up, whether they get you bus passes, taxis. But when you're working a job in Israel, 99% of the time, the company is going to deal with your transportation getting back and forth to work. You know, even if they have shuttle service. And you know, I get jobs and I've never had to worry about a car. Never had to worry about getting to work because the company makes sure that happens, you know? And so she, you know, could be making all that. And then when you're talking about dollars, like $10,000 is roughly 35,000 shekels. Okay? So if she round that 60,000 to 70,000 shekels a month figure, the sister pulling down $20,000 a month. Yes, in Tel Aviv. Well, you know, you need that kind of scratch in order to really be decent in Tel Aviv, because Tel Aviv on the list is one of the world's highest, most expensive cities. But with that kind of scratch, you do good. You live in the big building in Tel Aviv, you know. So the point is just, you know, that to show you that there are other places to live, different cultures for us. And I know a lot of our people in America is talking all this crap about, you know, America is the greatest country in the world. I don't want to leave, you know, all that kind of junk. But in reality, brothers and sisters, America done fell well off, way, way off. And there is no comeback. You know, because why? America done had hundreds of years. And look where it's at. They didn't do good and make it better. The state of America right now, especially for black people, is super duper. You black folks, y'all need to get the hell on up out of there. Seriously. You need to stop being scared. Stop tripping and flipping. Stop allowing your enemies and oppressors to shape your thinking and make you scared, and leave. Really. You know? I mean, look at all the brothers and sisters flying into Africa. And y'all need to be quiet on that now. You know, all of them going into Ghana, right? And then America gave the president of Ghana $1 billion to help out with the COVID effort. And now all of a sudden, you know, I don't know if it's still in effect. I doubt it really shouldn't be in effect. But he put out a mandate, every single person come into Ghana got to be vaccinated. I don't know if that's still true. But, you know, you see how America did that? So y'all need to do what you're going to do and shut your mouth, plan your work and work your plan and be quiet. But anyway, what I feel right now, you're looking at all this passport bro drama. You're looking at the modern woman drama. You're looking at the boss bees and all that. And you're looking at all that energy that is bad in America with our people. That's my first concern, our family members. And I'm not going to let nobody make me feel bad that I focus on black folks, my people. Everybody else focus on themselves. But when it comes to us focus on ourselves, issue. Then let me just say something to you all as to why. Why is the issue with black people concentrating on black business, doing what we need to do to improve our life, especially in America? Because you all have to know and understand that America was built by black people, that slave trade. They didn't pay our ancestors nothing, and our ancestors was out there building and working, enslaving, and America was built upon that energy. And now, for the hundreds of years, America has been sustained by black energy, black power. And you can run into these racists talking about go back to Africa and all that. That's just them clowns on the ground that don't know what's happening. But the powers that be know America cannot survive without black people. That's why I'm looking at so many brothers and sisters leaving America. You all got to be ready for this heathen to throw a monkey wrench in your exit plan. Because he don't want to really see you go. If you haven't ever seen the movie Cosmic Slop, it really ain't a real movie. It's a short, movie. Go on YouTube and look at the Cosmic Slop. It's a real short piece about when aliens came and wanted to take all the black people away, but give the white people gold and clean up the river, clean up the atmosphere. And the deal was give us all your black people. And then they went into a meeting and talked about, we can, we don't know if they're serious. And so they turned the Statue of Liberty into solid gold. And then they started cleaning up the rivers. They did the thing first to prove to the white folks that they were serious, that if you give us all these black folks here on planet Earth, we're going to fix your world for you. And so they turned the Statue of Liberty into solid gold. Then started cleaning up the rivers, and the water was running clear and everything. They're like, yo. So the white folks went into the meeting to decide on whether or not they want to give all the black folks to the aliens that just popped up that did that for them. So initially they were like, look at all that gold, the Statue of Liberty. Yeah, they cleaned the river up. Yeah. But then when they settled down, they got to thinking about what it is black folks are doing for America in their businesses. Then they started running the numbers down where, African American, they drink 46% of my liquor that I produce every year. 46%. That's a major chunk. And then they talked about all of the economics that black folks, are dealing with in America. And that without black people, their numbers would drop in half. And then one guy straight up, he's like, man, who's going to drink up? Who's going to do all this? We let these, and is it really worth it? Are we really benefiting? Do we really benefit by allowing black people to go with them? And this is kind of dialogue, but I want you to listen to what those white boys were saying as to the contribution that black people are giving to America. Okay? And so once you hear that, you should realize that they really ain't interested in black folks leaving America. You know what I'm saying? And so another point is that they not interested in black people unifying. Everybody else can, because nobody mean to America what black people mean to America. And this is something y'all have to understand. Why is it that we, as a people that's been in America longer than any other nation upon the face of this planet, is outside of the indigenous brothers and sisters that was there before the European came into America? Those brothers they used to call the Indians, Native American, they was there. Okay? Then when the white boy came, he went in Africa, brought a lot of Africans to work for nothing. But the brothers and sisters that was already there was dark, just like the Africans. In a lot of cases, they would get the African mixed up with the indigenous people and had the indigenous people be slaves. This is crazy heathen, But the very first initial reason why they brought African brothers and sisters to America is still in effect today. Even though you're a millionaire, you ride around in sharp cars, living in mansions, you are still a slave to this system. You know what I'm saying? And you must toe the line. You don't hear stars and entertainers out running stuff down like this. They'll shut them down. Michael Jackson was trying to tell the people about Sony. Shut him down. Prince, shut him down. You know? So nowadays, look at what's happening. For those of you all to know, the Honorable Marcus Garvey, what was he trying to do? He was trying to get our people back into Africa. With the Black Star Line, you ride free. Just get on the boat and go home. Couldn't do it. Not one person left America. But look today. I think that we finally got to a point where enough brothers and sisters done got their ace whooped. They realizing now, no. And so all that back to Africa movement, it's they doing it. I mean, brothers and sisters just doing it on their own. They ain't going over with no big movement, Nation of Islam, Hebrew Israelites, Hare Krishnas. Black folks to themselves, like, you know what? Me and my husband, we decided to come over here. Or a sister and her mother, decided to come over here and bring the 2 children. They just getting out on their own. And finding paradise. Finding out, whoa, we was lied to in America. And so many of my brothers and sisters are still there getting their butts whooped. Like, it was, you know what? I seen a lot of them videos of our people getting beat to pieces. And that right there is a tool in the tool chest of the racists. In the tool chest of the racists to show black brothers and sisters getting the crap beat out of them by the police. All of that right there is a part of that slave programming, just like back in the day when they would take the strongest slave that everybody looked up to and respected and beat him to the door of death, tie him between 2 horses and tar him, fell and put him apart, and made sure every single slave on the compound saw that. Why? That was to put fear in the slave, to make you fear the slave owner, because I refuse to call them slave masters. They did that to put fear in the other slave, to say, don't you dare get it in your mind to try to challenge me. And so this is the same fear tactic. By allowing black brothers and sisters to get the crap beat out of them and show it on national TV, uncut, unedited, unblurred out, you know what I'm saying, to make you fear the police. And then white people look at it and say, wow, we can use the police on these black folks as our whipping rod. So anytime they want to, you know what I'm saying? But now, my people say, no, they're not going to leave America because America is the greatest country. And then they say, no, I'm not going to Africa because they take your passport and you can't come back. And now my question, to come back to what? To more butt whipping? You see how you've been hypnotized and programmed and duped into thinking that place is the greatest place in the world? And you all think all these people trying to get to America, they trying to get to America because they don't know. They don't know. And then a lot of them don't even get there. They die in the process of trying to get there. And then when they get there, if you ain't Ukrainian, like what they doing now with the Ukrainian, they giving them jokers Social Security check. Yes, y'all didn't know that? Oh, they telling the Haitian to get your butt back on them boats and go back where you came from. But the doggone Ukrainian, they laying them out. And got people all in the streets in them cities, LA, Pennsylvania, just out in the street. Veterans that done went to the military and gave their lives for that country out in the street. And so concerning my people, you all have been acting so afraid to leave. And you need to go. You just like a lot of those brothers and sisters that pack up and they flying over to Ghana and wherever, you need to be on the next flight because it is not going to get better. And that ain't trying to pull out that black heifer married to the white guy that's a Jew selected by the old white man to be the vice president in the White House in a government controlled and ran by white people. Now they trying to bring her out, Imhoff. You know, in order to learn about her, you had to listen to Judge O'Brown. Her name Imhoff. They call her Kamala Harris, married to the Jew boy. Now they trying to bring her out to try to get up black vote, especially the black men. And all this is taking place in the Biden administration, and they want to come and pander to blacks to try to get voted back in there. Don't do it. Don't fall for it. I mean, voting for who? Republican, Democrat, they're all the same. At the end of the day, you can get your butt with whether it's a Republican president or a Democrat. So the only solution, brothers and sisters, is bye-bye. Get you some bye-bye. That's what you need to do. Get on the plane, get the hell on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, right now, Ghana would be the hot spot because you got a lot of African Americans showing up over there. You got a lot of stuff, a lot of services, a lot of systems. You can roll up in there, short money in your pocket. You ain't got to go and load it. And then you got different networks that you can plug into that help you get adjusted. And then you go get on the YouTube, man, and listen to these brothers and sisters that done moved into these different African countries, especially Ghana. They're getting citizenship, they're getting land, they're getting housing, they're getting their lives on. Like this couple went over and they was dumb. First thing they get going and moving around, they had a piece of money, you know what I'm saying? But they was dumb, black folks. They go in and they moving like they somewhere in America, or Israel, or Europe or somewhere, and you in Africa. And so, the African brothers sharp. See, the mistake they made, they went in with the white mentality. Look, when I lived in Ghana, I'm going to tell y'all, the Ghanaians, when I used to live there, they would call black people from America Yankees. You know why? Because black people from America thought and act just like white people. Just like this black girl was sitting there talking about they was in Ghana and they left in 3 days and went back to America. I said, man, what a fool. And they come out talking all this bullshiggity about the way the African did, the expenses, and things was so expensive. Ain't nothing expensive in Africa, only to a dummy. Ain't nothing expensive. Don't nothing cost nothing in Africa, unless you're a dummy. And they were some dummies, right? Why was they dumb? Because instead of going in and putting their money to the side and try to make some African friends, they running up in there thinking like, oh, this, that, and the Africans saw them coming. And them brothers and sisters, they trying to make it, man. They trying to survive. And then you want to come out of Africa like Africa only plays running game. Hell, we mastered game in America. Don't be stupid. Don't be talking about Africa like it's the only place. Oh, it's the most corrupt country in the world. The most corrupt country in the world is America and Israel. They running neck and neck on corruption because they slick. They walking around with $2,000, $3,000 money suits. You know what I'm saying? Shoes, nice car, corrupt as hell, lying, cheating, and stealing with a pen and paper in a boardroom. You know what I'm saying? And so everybody got some bullshit going on. Don't be pointing your finger at Africa like Africa, the only daggone country in the world corrupt. Stop that. But then them Negroes went back to America, and when they got back to America, they started getting sick, eating that processed food, chemically, biogenetically engineered food stuff. And then they got to thinking, like, you know what? When we was in Ghana, it really wasn't that bad. It was comfortable, it was quiet. That's what the sister said, it was quiet, man. She said they could relax, they felt good, and so they started thinking about how the other things, see, they went in looking at the finance and materialism. But when they got back to America and started getting sick and got into the stress, and then they seeing black folk getting beat up and shot by the police and all this here, they thought that them 3 days when they was in Ghana, they didn't fear, they didn't feel none of that, they didn't hear it, or none of that. And so Wow, they went back to Ghana. And this time they went with another understanding. They set their bus down and let somebody show them the ropes. And they say they doing great. They ain't never leaving. So this is what I'm telling you all. Black people ain't never gonna get together in America because our people, we didn't get to America to be together. We got to America to be their servants and slaves. And that is still to this day, just black folks. You can come from any other nation on planet Earth, swoop up into America, jump off the boat, and get your jack together, and you be good. And look around, it has happened time and time again. Everybody else shoot up in America, kaboom, they own. Black folks, even with money, you put all these black folks together in the room, the entertainers, the stars, everything, and ain't none of them able to really pull nothing off significant for black folks, because it's going to get derailed. It's going to get smashed by those that know they have been using black energy, black power for their own benefit. They know that. So get on away from America. That's it. Ain't no votes going to save you. Ain't no prayer going to help you, and Jesus ain't coming back. That's the way it is. Got to get away from America and live. Guy asked me this morning, a friend of mine, Israeli, called me, yo, what's happening, man? What's doing? I said, man, I'm chilling. I'm just, he said, you at work? I said, yeah. He said, what you doing? I'm just sitting in my car before I go get in the crane. He like, really? What's that about? I said, well, the owner of the company said he has two choices with me. He could lay me off, but when they need the crane, call me back, come in and do the work. Or he could keep me on the payroll and pay me to just be here. Why? Because they know with my skill and experience, and they know a lot of people know me and would love for me to be working with them, that I ain't going to be sitting home. And when they need the crane, they won't be able to get me because I'll be busy on another project. You see this computer system here? This is called a Lycon. This particular company makes this crane Libra itself. And see, they got the control on this console.